Hello. I'm the boss. How are you?
And President Trump reminding world leaders who's calling the shots as he wraps up the G7 with a marathon hour-long news conference defending Friday's upcoming peace deal signing with Iran and putting the terror regime on blast if it does not uphold its end of the bargain.
Then it's a memorandum of understanding. If it doesn't get done in 60 days, that's all right. We go back to bombing. If you don't adhere to the agreement, I don't want to do that, but we're going to bomb the hell out of you. When I say permanently, it should be permanently. But if it's not permanently, we will bomb them. They will be bombed, just like I bombed them on Wednesday night and Tuesday night and was going to bomb them on Thursday night at a level that was 3 times greater, and they knew that. I will bomb them.
And now we've got the details. The U.S. has released the full 14-point memorandum. Among the top lines, it ends the hostilities, the war, reopens the Strait of Hormuz, and says Iran can't get a nuclear weapon. In exchange, Iran gets sanctions relief, the release of frozen assets, and a $300 billion reconstruction commitment. But the president is adamant that no American money will be going into the mullah's hands.
You've been clear, President Trump, the United States is not going to directly pay Iran, but the U.S. is going to let the Iranians start making billions of dollars, selling oil, accessing this reconstruction fund.
Only if they're doing things right. Peter, only if we're not doing anything. We're not putting up money. Only if they're doing things right.
And the president poking a little fun at his vice president if things go south.
If it works out, I'm going to take the credit. If it doesn't work out, I'm blaming J.D. You better be careful, J.D. He's going to turn his plane around and get the hell out of here. Yeah, I like that idea.
Okay, here we go. I love the I'm the boss thing. Very funny. I'm sure, well, they laughed, so I think they thought it was funny too. Kaylee, the document that was released today was basically the document that was leaked all week that we were told not to take much stock in, but it is the one that they have. It's the one that they're trying to defend, and to mixed reception, I would say.
Indeed. And I would remind everyone, a memorandum of understanding is different than a deal. Those are fundamentally 2 different things. The most important point on this 14-point memorandum is point number 8, that says Iran reaffirms it will not procure or develop a nuclear weapon and address its enriched material. But my question is, what are the footnotes to this? That we will get in a deal. And 2, how does it change Iran's behavior? That will all be determined in time. We are told that the points you're looking at on the screen were designed in a way that was to allow Iran to sell this into their domestic politics, and also that the commitments that they made behind the scenes verbally are much stronger than these initial frameworks and principles. So those caveats aside. But again, what are the footnotes? Because the footnotes are going to be the kind of things we saw in the Obama JCPOA, though I expect these to be different. But the JCPOA, a much longer document that was actually a deal. This is the memorandum. And in the JCPOA, here were the footnotes: 10-year sunset provisions for centrifuge restrictions, advanced research and development, 15-year sunset on the enrichment caps on Iran, 15-year sunset on the stockpile limits, on the plutonium and heavy water restrictions. In other words, all the restrictions go away, 10 years, 15 years. That was the JCPOA footnote. It would be an unacceptable deal should this deal look like that one. Number 2, I would just say this. If you go on Obama's website, the archives of his White House website, here's what they say about inspections. This deal ensures IAEA access when needed, where needed, to verify the peaceful nature of Iran's nuclear program. Anytime, anywhere inspections are simply unnecessary thanks to the deal. Wrong. You cannot trust Iran. Anytime, anywhere inspections are necessary. In the Trump deal, when we get the footnotes, I certainly hope that they do not look like this. They've assured us they won't. And I also hope that Iran's behavior changes, because after the Iran deal, they were harassing U.S. Navy ships. They held American sailors hostage. So the devil's in the details. And in 60 days, we'll know the details.
Yeah. And in some ways, it's interesting, Jessica, as Americans, we tend to think of things in 4-year chunks. Sometimes 2-year chunks if you look at midterms, but 4 years. But the Iranians have shown that they have a long look. They might look 60 years ahead or something like that. As I said, mixed reception. What are your thoughts?
I think it's not even really mixed. It's just pretty negative, seemingly.
Jesse hasn't gone yet.
I think Jesse's even going to have to be a little more reasonable and maybe take back
Reasonable? Me? No.
calling me Tehran Tarlov for talking about what was in this MOU that actually is exactly what was in this MOU. Ben Shapiro on with Martha a little while ago. This MOU appears to be a disaster that does not achieve any of the signal goals that were set by the administration. In my opinion, the VP, the chief negotiator, has not well served the president. Bill Cassidy, the worst foreign policy blunder in decades. And you say, Trump joking, I'm going to blame this on JD. I think it's a loaded joke, right? Like that he's going to end up the fall guy. And I hope that he heard you yesterday when you said, don't take that picture standing next to a terrorist. Because
I don't think they are taking my advice.
well, you would be well served to take Dana's advice. Trump today, watching his press conference at the G7 and just a number of comments that he's made over the last several days, honestly feels quite over this, that he wants to move on. I don't know if it's about Cuba or where he wants to go next, but he's like, this didn't really work out the way that I wanted. The MOU looks like, you know, all carrots, no sticks there. Like you said, sell oil, sanctions relief, $300 billion investment fund, the ballistic missile program left alone, the proxies left alone. Thank God that we're going to respect their territorial sovereignty. So it feels like Iran is probably thinking we just won like the geopolitical Powerball of the century. I'm glad you like that. I thought of you when I was coming up with it. Yeah, like... What? It's great. You win a lot of money.
The country got destroyed.
It didn't, obviously, though, Greg. I mean, if you engage with, I know you don't like the details, but if you engage with the MOU and you listen to people who supported Trump wholeheartedly in this, who thought that this was great, that this is exactly what we needed because they had.
I don't listen to them.
But why not? Why is it embarrassing to listen to people who are experts?
I'll let you finish and then I'll destroy you later.
Whatever, man.
Why don't you go?
No, because she wasn't done.
Oh, do you want to say anything more?
Oh, this is new, too.
Is there a poll?
Yeah.
Yeah, no one likes it.
Okay.
I don't trust anybody because everybody wants something else. It's a good deal when someone is at their weakest, okay? Who do you want to fight? Mike Tyson in his prime or Mike Tyson at 60 with the flu? And they act like Iran won because they're getting money from the Gulf states to rebuild. Why are they rebuilding? They got destroyed. So that's like telling somebody who lost their house and everything in it that they won because Allstate cut them a check. No, they're starting over in a deeper hole than they've ever been. Trump devastated Iran so deeply, we weren't even able to understand it for weeks. It took them 6-7 weeks to even dig out of it. They eliminated multiple levels of leadership. They weren't even sure who to deal with. You got to sift through the rubble to find a temp. And yet, yes, they're going to lie and cheat on a deal. We know that. But get this. They always lied and cheated on a deal. But the difference is they've never been less of a threat in their entire existence than now. They were the state-sponsored, the largest state sponsor of terror. Again, they couldn't sponsor a lemonade stand. And even if they did, left-wingers would try to rob them. You know, I'm waiting for the Dems and the media to get through their 5 stages of grief with Trump. They're still stuck in the first step, which is denial. This might be the time to accept that he's president, especially with this last week. You had that amazing stunt with the motorcyclists doing backflips at the White House. That was beautiful. You have Tren de Aragua being incinerated. You have Trump at the G7 treated like an OG because he flattened Iran like a drunk at a bar. And you know what? We have entered the golden age. I could go through the list of everything, and nobody's talking about the blue wave anymore. It's more like a blue trickle. It's pinching off to a drop, and no amount of saw palmetto is going to restore the flow, Jessica.
You don't even know what saw palmetto is yet.
But you will.
What is that? Is that something you sprinkle on pasta?
Yes, exactly.
You should try it. Go ahead. Tell us your thoughts.
Greg made such a good point yesterday, and it's maybe with age comes wisdom.
Thank you.
But he really stepped back from this and looked at the big picture. And let's remind everybody what Greg said. We whipped Iran. Their nuke program is dead. The Ayatollah is dead. We basically did it with 12 casualties, God bless them, and no ground troops. And now the United States is the world's leading exporter of energy. And we did it in 3 months. You look at that and you tell any Democrat president over the last 47 years, would you take those results? All of them would say yes. And oil is at the same price it was now than it was before the war. I mean, those are incredible results. But let's get into the details. This is from the document. Iran agreed at a minimum to destroy their enriched uranium on site as we watch.
Pay-per-view
And if
event.
we don't,
Like your mom making.
and if they don't do it, they don't get any sanctions relief. That's the deal. And they can't even get to the uranium. So even if they leave it at the status quo, which they said it remains at the status quo is that it's dead and buried. You can't enrich what you can't get. All right, so that's that. The Strait opens, no attacks, no tolls. Now, they put this thing in there at the end of 60 days, Iran and Oman can negotiate with the Saudis and the Kuwaitis over how they're going to deal with the Strait under international law. Well, under international law, you can't toll. And you think the Saudis are agreeing to a toll system? No, that's just to let them feel good about themselves. You keep talking about this $300 billion fund. Greg's right. They're $1 trillion in the hole. All right. Guess who controls the investment fund? The United States. We issue the license. We issue the sanctions relief. We issue the contracts. Everything that's invested in Iran, we determine whether Iran is investable. And that doesn't happen unless they behave. Now, the vision of the deal is that Iran can either have cash flow, make love, make money, be a normal country, or they can fund terrorism and die. It's their choice. And if they go back to their mischief, we can hit them again with more bombs and blockades and sanctions. If they BS us, we can go back to it. It's no problem. All of these sanctions and all of this unfrozen cash and billions in funds that everybody around the table keeps talking about, it all gets paid if they behave. It's all at the part of the final deal. It's all if they give us the dust. I think we all need to reread it a little bit more closely. And also, while we're at it, did you guys hear that we just signed the EU trade deal? That kind of got buried. That's kind of a big deal. Wow, that just happened. The EU just dropped all their tariffs on us to 0. Wow, I guess it worked, Jessica.
Yeah, Liberation Day, the greatest day in American history.
Look at the stock.
Finally.
All right.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.